Welcome back to CSE Metrics Mania. We are continuing down the path of learning about our sensor data that we use at college sports evaluation. And on today, we have Madi Schmidt, our events director. Welcome, Madi.
Hello.
Madi is one of the best people on staff to talk about our sensor data. Today, we're talking specifically to pitching and our use of Rapsodo in our events. And Madi knows the use of these technologies, these sensor data technologies, best on staff, hands down. And so I'm really excited to dive deeper into how Rapsodo is giving us as a company an ability to evaluate athletes beyond what the naked eye can see. So, you know, in the world of pitching, you can see like, yeah, that's a heavy ball, a good throw, maybe something that has life to it. But Rapsodo's deliverables really allow us to see pitch types on a different level and assess them in comparison to the collegiate levels to evaluate these athletes in a developmental way to place them very specifically at the college levels. So Madi, let's dive into it. And first, let's just begin with learning what Rapsodo is. How does it work?
Yeah, so for our pitching usage, we use the Rapsodo Pitching Unit 2.0. And this unit is basically just a high-speed radar camera. So what it does is it tracks individual pitches by radar technology, similar to what a pocket radar does, but it's also a camera. So it takes snapshots along the way and basically can tell us and break every single pitch down to the minuscule movement by inches, spin rates, all of this wonderful stuff that we cannot necessarily see with the naked eye in terms of numbers. Like you said, we could see something, yeah, that broke, or yeah, that dropped, but we can't necessarily tell how much it did or what it's looking like in terms of the numbers basis. So Rapsodo's technology allows us to dive a little bit deeper into what a pitcher looks like on paper.
Okay, so as Rapsodo is capturing this information with each pitch, give us some more insight into what specifically we're testing for with each pitch.
Yeah, so for CSE, Rapsodo, our use with Rapsodo goes into specific pitch types. So at a CSE, a pitcher will tell us what kind of pitch they have, baseball and softball. And each pitch from there on out is broken down by some major things that we use here at CSE. So we use velocities, we use spin rates, we also use horizontal and vertical break. So how far does it break down or up, or how far does it break left to right? So those are the four big heavy hitters we use in terms of evaluation standards. Now for development standards, we use things like spin direction and release angles to be able to tell whether a pitcher is throwing the ball correctly or not.
And so you spoke to development standards. How do you, one of the deliverables that athletes are getting with use of Rapsodo is specific graphs to show directly where those pitches were landing in the strike zone, movement of the ball. These graphs are a great visual to see their habitual patterns in throwing. How is that used to give each athlete individualized developmental notes?
Yeah, so we offer in CSE's reports two specific graphs. The first one is a pitch command graph. So it's kind of like a heat map. And it shows individuals where each pitch is located on the strike zone spectrum. So for development standards, basically saying if I'm throwing a drop ball and they're all relatively in the same location, I have good pitch command. But let's say I'm throwing a rise and they're kind of all over the place, scattered throughout the graph. I know that I need to work on my pitch command. So the pitch command graph allows players to really take a look visually at where their balls are hitting and where they're missing. So that's huge in terms of pitch command development. And we notice a lot of the younger kids have less pitch command than the older kids. And so that time to develop in that window is huge. The other one we offer is a movement chart. So this movement chart tracks each of the pitches similar to the way the heat map does. pitch by pitch, but it tracks movement from the center of the plate. So to go more in depth than that, you'll see horizontal and vertical break. Well, we take these and we map them pitch by pitch. So most of the time for baseball, what they look at is if a pitcher has good run on their ball. So if their fastball is kind of moving in an upward direction, and they have not necessarily location, so their location could be low and out, but that ball has a little bit of run to it. That's what a lot of Major League Baseball scouts are looking for, is that run. And that's what that movement chart will show you specifically, is where these balls are moving, not necessarily where they're located at. So that's really important for developing movement profiles in players. So how do I become a better pitcher overall? How do I make hitters off balance? And how do I deceive them? We talk a lot about this aspect of tunneling. So when one pitch looks the same as another, you'll see that a lot. We just saw it in the World Series, where they'll show you the same ball moving in the same slot, and then all of a sudden one goes this way, one goes this way, one goes this way, right? So that's what that movement chart is telling us, is how well does a pitcher tunnel, how deceivable are they, and it also allows the player themselves to develop that movement profile based on pitch to pitch.
And the development really never ends. I mean, you look at technology like Rapsodo, and all the way from the youth levels through major leagues, this technology is being used to continue to refine athletes' skills, even in the major leagues. Every day, every week, every month and year, these players are looking at this data and continuously refining.
Right, exactly. It's all about the development when it comes to sensor technology nowadays. Yes, it can get you recruited. Yes, it can get you on a team. But it's really, how do I get better from here, that sets it apart.
Absolutely. Yeah, and just a huge nod to always being in tune with your sensor data technology as an athlete. It's not just getting your numbers once. It's sort of this ongoing relationship with your game development. So as always in our CSE Metrics Mania, it's fun to talk and learn about these things, but it's even more exciting to see it live in action. So Madi and I are excited to head downstairs and pitches from one of our very own, Trinity Harrington. She was a starting pitcher at Texas A&M and pitched in the College World Series. And we asked her to warm her arm up and get back in the saddle and start throwing to some Rapsodo. So Madi, let's take a gander downstairs and see what Trinity's up to.
Sounds good.
Hi everyone, Madi Schmidt here again. Hey, we're going to go through our Rapsodo app and on-field application of this app really quick to kind of give you guys a deeper dive into what we're doing here at CSE. So first of all, I'm just going to walk through these really quick. Upper left, we have velocity. Next to that, we've got spin direction, gyro, so we can tell how the ball's spinning and which direction it's going. Next to that, we've got brake. Down, we've got spin efficiency, total spin and true spin. Down below that, we've got release. You can also change that to strike zone, so different points of release there. And then to the right of that's kind of an overall picture of where these pitches are going. So first thing we're going to take a look at is Trin's drop ball. We're going to walk through these just a little bit as they come through very, very briefly. So while this is spinning, what's happening is Rapsodo's capturing this pitch on a radar camera, basically taking really, really quick snapshots. So Rapsodo does a really good job of capturing each pitch as it comes through, as we're seeing here. So I want to briefly go over this data little by little here. So first thing I want to take a look at our speed, obviously in the upper left corner. This will read out speed, averages, and maxes. The second thing I want to take a look at is right next to it, and it's the spin direction. So we can tell a lot about a pitcher by the way their ball is spinning. This ball in particular is a drop ball, so we want it to spin in that 5 to 6:30 range. Anytime we get outside the 5 o'clock to 6:30 range, the ball doesn't really do what it's supposed to do, which is obviously drop for a drop ball here. Moving on to our right, continuing, we see vertical break and horizontal break. So any negative number for vertical break is going to be down, positive for up. Horizontal break, any break to the right is going to be positive. Any break to the left is going to be negative. So we see that she's got some decent breaks and spins. I want to point this one out here really quick. So Rapsodo does have some troubles reading some pitches if they are not in the strike zone. So as we see here, that pitch that she just threw was not captured. And that does happen. It's not unheard of. So we want to really try to encourage our pitchers to stay in the strike zone as much as possible. Okay, so you'll see that I have switched now to fastball. So Trin's going to switch from her drop ball to her fastball. This is really important for CSE because we actually do analysis based on pitch type. So we don't want everybody to just throw all one pitch. We try to get a healthy mix in there as best as we can. So we've talked about speed, spin, and break. Now I want to go down to our spin efficiency corner there. So you'll see total spin and true spin are two different numbers right now. That's because true spin is the total spin times the spin efficiency. So we kind of get an overall good picture of what the ball is spinning like through true spin. So you'll see that one we've dropped down from a close to 100% down to 70%. So the spin efficiency is not good. You also see that affected our break, and that is because of the spin direction. So you'll see on-field analysis through CSE that we really take the time to go through each one of these pitches and say, okay, why did this pitch not work? Why did it move this way? Well, this one's easy to tell. Our spin direction is not in the 5 to 630 range, so we're having trouble moving the ball efficiently through our spins, thus not getting enough break on our pitch. Going down to release from there, the way we take a look at release for CSE is we like the effective tunneling. So to explain tunneling a little bit better, it's basically how pitchers make their pitches deceptive. So in the World Series during baseball, we see a lot of like Clayton Kershaw, how they overlay his ball on top of other pitches. That's the tunneling effect we want. So for every single pitch, we want release to be almost identical. So in release height, in angle, inside, we want it to be as close as possible from pitch to pitch. So CSE takes this in account when we talk about tunneling. It's incredibly important to create tunneling as a deceptive pitcher. So with all these other metrics that we see on screen, we get an entire picture of what a pitcher is like from pitch to pitch. So we get to see their velocity, we get to see their spin and how well they're spinning the ball, and what adjustments we can make from there. Rapsodo is a really great tool to be able to use to make adjustments and adjustments on the fly. So a lot of the colleges we've tested use Rapsodo, and they say the same thing. We use it for adjustment and development. So here at CSE, we're going to continue to use Rapsodo, continue to get everything out of it that we can, because there's some really great and important stuff in there. So thanks for listening, guys.